Hello everyone, how are you guys? Well, this is a very a special and different video. And you know what? I'm driving back home and I was I'm just gonna take this time because so you probably already watched my last travel blog that I just uploaded, which was all about our trip to Medellin, Colombia, right? And I titled the video "The Worst Trip of My Life," and then I kind of show you a little things here and there, and kind of told you what happened, but I receive a lot of messages of you guys asking me what happened, especially because at the beginning I'm very vague. I'm just saying yes, we were scammed by our hotel, and we had to looking for another hotel till 2 in the morning, right? But you guys really want the tea, okay? My little I don't know. I want to say Beverly True, but this is not my other channel, so I don't know what is our name over here. But anyways, I know that you want the tea of what went down in Medellin, so I was you know what? I'm gonna tell you exactly everything that went down. All right, so we were in Bogota with my husband, and our whole trip, it's supposed to be Bogota, Medellin, San Andres, Cartagena, Bogota, and then come back, right? Medellin is one of the most amazing cities in Colombia, okay? Like I said in my video, a lot of you might know Medellin because, it used to be Pablo Escobar's house, home, I'm sorry, and there was a lot of drug dealing, and it was a very unsafe city back in the day. I'm talking 34 years ago, but the reputation stayed there for ever and ever. But Medellin now is a completely different city of what they used to be. Right now, Medellin is the #1 city in Latin America, okay? It's a very beautiful city. It's the only city in Colombia who actually has a metro. Not even Bogota, which is the capital, has a metro. So Medellin has a metro. Everything, the infrastructure, the housing, living over there, the weather, the people, they all come from Medellin. The very stereotypical Colombian that you see on shows, that with that little accent and I don't even know how to say it in English, but probably if you have seen things from Colombia, they usually use that accent, which is specifically from Medellin. We call them paisas, and that's the paisa accent, and that's how we get recognized around the world, basically. So Medellin is a very big city. I haven't been there in years. Actually, the last time that I spent in Medellin, I spent one night back in what I want to say it was 2011, because I was passing there because I was going to meet some friends in another city. And I had to spend one night over there. That was the last time that I went to Medellin, and I honestly never really went on tourist mode or anything, right? And I really didn't have any interest, because the last time from that I was to Medellin, I was probably 8 years old, and it was a very bad time for Colombia. And it was a time where me and my parents almost got kidnapped by a terrorist group, or the guerrillas. I don't know if you know what that is, So it was a very scary time in my life. You probably are gonna want to hear that, but that's definitely needs its own video. So so I never really thought about returning to Medellin. But everyone keeps telling me about how amazing it was, and how, I needed to give it another chance. So we were you know what? Let's go to Medellin. Also, my husband, one of his cousins lived there, and my brother-in-law actually like love Medellin and spend a lot of time over there. So we decided to invite him over, because kind of like be our tourist guide, just like show us around, because I have no idea. Okay, so anyways, the time was there, we went to the airport, we took our flight, everything was perfect, normal, a beautiful flight. We arrived to Medellin around, I want to say like 7 p.m. and from there we went on, we picked up our car, and then we needed to drive like 40 minutes from the airport to where the hotel was. So there is a specific thing in Colombia, and is that every single city is gonna have good parts and bad parts, right? And because I have never stayed in Medellin before, and I didn't know anything about it, and my brother-in-law like flew before, I mean, there was like a whole situation that the day that we traveled, it was just me and Sebastian, right? So we arrived, we pick up our car, and we were supposed to go to the good part of the town, which is called El Poblado. El Poblado is like a neighborhood, where like all the bars and the restaurants and the supposedly the 5-star hotels, and everything is supposed to be around there. And we book a hotel in there, right? I usually don't really care about accommodations. If you know me and if you have seen me travel around the world, you know that I don't care about hotels. I can stay in a hostel. I can, like, because to me it's only a place to go and sleep. But given that this is Colombia, it was a different experience, and Sebastian is not like that at all, So we were like, we need to reserve a good place, we were not gonna stay in a 5-star hotel, but like we needed like a good 4-star hotel with the basics at least, so we could be relaxed, like no problems at all. So we drive. We arrive to El Poblado, and it's a beautiful area. And then I started noticing that the hotel that I booked from outside, it didn't look anything to the pictures that were on Expedia. I use Expedia to book all of my travels, because actually they always have been amazing. They always like really help me if I have any problem or anything, so I never have a problem with Expedia. So it looked really very different, and I was like, what is this? The entrance, it was like in the middle of the street, but it was like this little door, and it was not a building. It was just kind of like a 2-floor situation, but it was very weird. I mean, this is not a 4-star hotel. Then outside of the hotel were a lot of ladies of the night, and a lot of like men of the night, and a lot of like people selling drugs out there. Like it's not like it's in your face, but like over there it's kind of like that, like people walk around and they kind of like this, and so it was like a lot of things going on, and I was like, okay, what is this? What is happening? This is supposed to be one of the bougie areas of Medellin. Why it is like so like weird, right? And so we go into this random little door, and we get to the reception. The hotel didn't have parking, so we have to park like in a random place, and we arrive, and this thing inside was, it was not ugly, but it was not what was being shown on the pictures, and you can tell that they really fixed everything just for the pictures, and then it was a whole different deal. This was barely a motel. I was like, what is this, right? And it was not cheap, guys. I mean, I'm telling you that we were paying over $100 a night, and that in Colombian pesos is almost 500,000 pesos per night, which is like literally half of like 1 month salary for a Colombian. So imagine how expensive they were charging us. So anyways, okay, we were like, all right, let's see. And we were already a little bit tired. It was already around like 8 probably. And then we decided to go into the room. The hotel, the keys, they have like key cards. So the key cards were not working. So they were like, we're just gonna give you a master key. I was like, what? Look, I used to own a hotel, okay? You probably know this if you have been following me, but I used to own a hotel here in Hollywood. I know how all of this works, right? So when they say, you know, I'm gonna give you a MasterCard, it's like, so you're basically giving me access to the whole hotel, to every single room here. Like if I wanted to, I could just go into every single room and just steal everything from everyone. So what is going to assure me that you are not be giving MasterCards to every single person that is out here when you have prostitutes and drug dealers, you know, outside of literally the front door? I was like, okay, I am not feeling safe here. And mind you, again, I am from Colombia, okay? I know how to deal with these situations. I know how to deal with Colombians. And I was like, this is bad. But I didn't want it to create a big deal because Sebastian, he suffers from anxiety. And you can already tell that his level of anxiety were getting like high. And I didn't want to make things worse. So I was like, okay, let's see the room, right? We go inside of the room, guys. This, like, I was speechless. You know, the room didn't have any windows. The room, literally, you could hear everything from outside. So there were bars around the hotel. The music was so loud that you could hear everything. Like there was no way. Like, and I telling, you know what? You know why I'm telling you these, guys? Because again, I'm used to be so chill. I don't care about these things. I don't care about like these random things because I'm usually like, whatever, you know, just enjoy the moment, just another experience. But when things are that bad, it's like, no, bitch, we have to do something. And then how you said this, the straw that, I forgot how to say that in English. The thing with the camel, the gout and the glass, whatever, I don't know. The thing that I was like, fuck it, I am not gonna be staying here, was that the bathroom didn't have a door. Like nothing, okay? So literally, if you wanted to go and do number 2 on the toilet, the other person will have to see you from the bed. And I know there are couples that they don't have a problem with that. We are not one of those, okay? No, we do not do that. I mean, to me, that's like, no, that is super weird. I mean, we don't go to the bathroom where the other person is in the bathroom ever, okay? We value the privacy of our bathroom, each one of us. So of course, Sebastian was like, you know, he exploded. He said that he was not gonna stay there, that this place was disgusting, that this was a scam. And I got very, very angry because he was right. This is a scam. These are not the pictures that you are showing on Expedia, right? So then the worst part is, so when I did the reservation, I didn't have to pay for the reservation. But when we go to the hotel, in order, before the key card and before showing us the room and before everything, in order to do that, they made me pay, you know? And I told them, like, can we, because, I mean, just by watching the entrance and just the reception, we were like, can we just see the room? And they were like, no, we cannot let you see the room. Like, you will have to pay first and all of that. So we end up paying, right? So when we decided that we were not gonna stay there, they didn't want to give us our money back. And I'm telling you, we were supposed to stay here there in Medellin for 4 days. That was 3 nights. So we're talking about almost $400. That's a lot of money in Colombian pesos, okay? That's almost 2 million pesos. And they didn't want to give us the money back, you know? They were like, no, there's nothing that you can do, that blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I am not staying here. This is a scam. I want my money back. So then they were like, well, there's nothing that we can do. You have to call Expedia. So I was like, okay. So I went on, I called Expedia, which it was a mess because, you know, I have to call to like Expedia in Colombia, but there was it was a very hard like way to like contact them, and then I have to talk to like 4 people, and then, you know, fight, you know, and then they were like, okay, Expedia. I usually, you know, sorry guys, like with every travel agency, usually you have to fight a little bit, but Expedia has always like respond to me, right? So at the end they were like, okay, look, we're just gonna call the hotel to verify everything, and then we're gonna give you the money back, and then we are going to reaccommodate you in another hotel, you know? And we were like, okay. Expedia tried to close the hotel. First, they couldn't communicate. Then I literally hear the phone. They didn't want to answer the phone. So I was with the agent on hold, right? And then I saw the receptionist just being like, you know, and he had like this like bitchy attitude, you know, and like this mark in his face, and he was like, well, there's nothing that you can do, right? And I was like, this fucking bitch, you know. So when he was back, I have to tell him like, hey, I can literally hear the office phone ringing. He just doesn't want to answer the phone, okay? So it was like a whole fight. Eventually, I was able to talk to the manager of the hotel. The manager of the hotel tells me, well, I mean, we can give you the money back except for the first night because, you know, cancellation policy. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Mind you, at this point, it was already like 10:30 p.m. I was like, fuck it. Okay, you know what? Shove your money up your ass. I don't care. Like, take it, okay? Take the first night. Just give us the rest of the money back. I will make an official complaint with Expedia, and it is what it is, right? So that happened finally. 2 hours, like almost 3 hours fighting with them. And then we were like, okay, we're done, right? Now let's just book another hotel and then just go there. Little did we know that that was going to be just the beginning of the worst night I have ever had on a trip, okay? Well, we didn't know, but the next 2 days in Medellin, it was the concert of Bad Bunny. And every single hotel in Medellin was booked. Everything was sold out, guys. I have never seen something like this. From the 1-star hotels to the 5-star hotels, everything was booked. It was insane. We start finding little rooms here and there from, of course, the 5-star hotels, which were the most expensive ones. And they were literally like so expensive. Because of the concert, all the hotel raised their prices up to 10 times what they usually charge for a hotel. I'm telling you, they were charging for a room like over $1,000. I was like, what? I don't know what we're gonna do, right? So we start like looking and looking and looking. I was very stressed. Sebastian was very stressed. I didn't know what to do. So we went to our car. We were like driving around, and then we find one hotel that they were charging around the same amount of the hotel that we were gonna stay before. And I call and they say, look, we have one room available, but only for 2 nights. And I was like, okay, let's just go there, right? And then tomorrow we try to figure out our next move. We go to that hotel. It was a big building, guys. The room was so freaking disgusting. Like, disgusting, guys. And like, it was so small. The bed was touching almost all the walls. It was horrible. It was horrible, you know. And we were like, we're not gonna stay here, okay? And it was so expensive. So we were like, we're not gonna stay here. No, you know. So we were like, no, thank you. We left. We start driving around Medellin, right? Oh, shit! I forgot about this. No, I'm sorry. Before this, we were in the first hotel. You know, when we realized of the Bad Bunny thing. Looking. We find one hotel, and it was in a place that we had no idea. So I called a friend of mine that he used to live in Medellin, and I told him, hey, we found this hotel, it's in this area. What do you think? Because I don't want to end up like in the ghetto of Medellin, right? He's like, oh no, that area is amazing. Go there. I was like, oh, okay. We start driving. It was a 40-minute drive, guys. We literally had to cross the whole city. And we start driving and driving and driving. We were, at that moment, we were not that stressed because we were like, okay, we find another hotel. It was supposed to be like a spa hotel. The pictures again were amazing. We start driving. And then Google Maps is telling us that we have to like go like take this little like I don't know how you said that, like this little street up a mountain. And we were like, okay, everything completely dark on every side, and we were just going like up a mountain, and we were just driving, and I started getting a little bit nervous because literally the only thing that you could see is like forest, like jungle. I don't like you know, like just trees and trees everywhere, and like no cars, no people. So we start getting a little bit like you know, anxious. We arrived to the hotel and there was nothing there. Nothing. Like literally where like the, you know, the Google Maps show us, there was nothing there. We got so freaked out. So I started like driving a little bit more up. I was like, maybe the entrance is a little bit more up. Nothing. We just got so anxious and we were like, no, let's just leave here. And then that's when we like I was so like mad. And then we get down, we go to a gas station, and that's when we go to that other hotel. At this point, I'm already fighting with Sebastian. I am incredibly frustrated. Sebastian is super anxious. We don't know what to do. I'm begging him to call his brother and his cousin. He doesn't want to do it. It is too late now. He doesn't want to bother them. So the reason why we didn't call them, it's because these are family members of Sebastian that he is just getting to know each other, you know. That will be like another story, but that's the only thing that you need to know. It's not like they have, like they really know each other. No, they are just getting to know each other. And Sebastian's brother, which is like the most close one, he was staying at the cousin's apartment, and the cousin is someone that Sebastian doesn't really have a relationship with. So he was very much like, I just don't want to bother them. Like I don't know them. I don't like, it will be too weird. They live in a 1-bedroom apartment. You know, he lives with his wife, and it was just like too much, you know. So he didn't want to do it. So I was begging him. He was like, no. So I was very angry. He was very angry. We start fighting. Like the whole thing just went to shit. You know, we explode. Then we find that other hotel, that disgusting hotel. We go over there. Sebastian says, no, I don't want to stay there. I'm like, oh, fuck this shit. I cannot do this anymore. I'm like, we're just gonna have to like literally like sleep in the car because I don't know. Then we start driving around Medellin. Mind you, at that time it was like 12, like midnight. And we start like driving around. I was so sleepy, so tired, so drained. We found like these like little hotels, right? And one was sold out, and the other one had a room for that night. And I was like, oh please, let it be this one, please. As soon as I am walking from the reception to my car, guys, the amount of rats everywhere, on the streets, fighting, on the trees, on the garbage, like inside the parking garage. I have a phobia to rats. Rats and insects is like no for me. Like it's not like, oh, I don't like them. No, I have a phobia, you know, like it's an unreasonable, weird phobia. And I was, no, I am not staying here. You know, I was like, fuck this shit. Now I'm the one with the problem. I am not staying here with all, like, I'm telling you, I have never seen that amount of rats ever in my life. You know, I'm talking about over 20 or 30 rats, and it's not little mouse. No, it's like this big rats. Okay, like I almost die. I run so fast to the car. I was like, so no, I don't know what to do. I was exhausted. I literally told Sebastian, I think we have to like sleep in the car, and tomorrow we meet your brother, and we'll see, because I don't know what else to do, right? We start thinking about, you know what, we're probably gonna have to cut this trip short, because if there is no hotels, what are we gonna do here for 4 days, right? So maybe we can change the tickets. We were supposed to go from, I think originally we were supposed to go from Medellin to the coast, which is called, one of the cities that was called Santa Marta, and then we're gonna go to Cartagena and then to San Andres. But there were no tickets, so we will have to fly directly to San Andres first. Like, it was a whole deal. But it was even more cheaper to change the tickets for both of us than to book a hotel to stay in Medellin. At one moment, it was like 1:30 in the morning. One last time, I just went around and I randomly found one hotel, and I called them and I was like, please, do you have a room available? And the guy goes and said, look, I have one room available for tonight at a very reasonable price. The only problem is it doesn't have air conditioning. But at that point, I was like, look, we just need to sleep, and then tomorrow we'll be out, you know? And then we drive there, knowing what we were gonna find, with like all of the bad luck that we already had, you know? And then we kind of like have a conversation on the car, because we were very angry at each other, because we were so frustrated. But I think that was one of those moments that we literally have to like learn to communicate. And then we realize that, you know, it's not about us. You know, it's not like we were mad at each other. We were mad at the situation, right? So we kind of like, you know, apologize and forgive each other, you know, and we were like, everything is going to be okay. Let's clean this energy. Let's clean this, you know, bad situation. Like, let's go to this hotel. Everything is gonna be okay. We arrived to this hotel. It was at night, so everything was dark, so we couldn't like really see the hotel. But the important part was the room. We go into the room. It was I think this was like a 2-star hotel, so it wasn't like nothing crazy, but it was not bad. And I was like, this is it, you know. And the guy actually had another opening in another room that was reserved for someone else, and that person didn't arrive. I mean, it was already like 2 in the morning, and he was like, I don't think this person is going to arrive. So if you pay me this little extra, which was like $20, I will give you this other room, which is bigger and it has air conditioning. And we were like, okay, thank you, you know, thank you. So we pay, and amen, hallelujah, we just find a hotel for that night. So that was the first night. It was horrible, guys. I have never felt so like there is nothing that you can do. There is literally nothing that you can do. Next day, I woke up very early. I did everything with the airlines. I changed the flight, but there was no flight available for next day. The idea was literally to leave Medellin next day. So there was no flights available. So even if we wanted it or not, we will have to stay another night in Medellin. So I told Sebastian I don't know what to do, you know. So we were like looking. We started looking again at hotels. This time there was a little bit more of openings, you know. You know that there is always cancellations and stuff, you know. So I found one hotel, and it was beautiful, guys. Like beautiful, like everything that you will imagine from a resort. And it was on a nice price, and I was like, oh my god, this is it. I showed Sebastian the pictures. I was in love, he was in love. Oh my god, this is how we're gonna turn our trip. Reserve. When I go, we were ready to like leave the hotel almost to do the checkout. I did the reservation for that day, but of the next month. Guys, I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what? So I was like, of course, thank God that you know, I could cancel the reservation because I did it for like the next month. So they give me the money back, and then we go, and I was like, oh my god, I didn't want to have another day of like stress. So we find another one, and I was like, can you, because Sebastian then he was like, I need to look at the pictures first. I am not gonna let you reserve any other hotel. I need you to look at the pictures first. So I think he was in the bathroom or something. I was like, look at the picture, there is only one room available. So he comes here. He spent like, I don't know, 15 minutes watching like all 100 pictures of the hotel, and he's like, you know what, that looks like a decent hotel, let's stay there. Reserve. Oops, sorry, the room is no longer available, the hotel is sold out. What? Oh my god. I don't know. We keep like looking and like, what are we gonna do now? And I keep looking out of nowhere. And this is what I say, like, you know, things will work out. You know, you just have to clean your energy and bring that positivity around you, right? Because if you, when things like this are happening, it's very easy for you to get very negative very quickly and start thinking like, why this is happening to me, always bad things happen to me, oh my god, I never gonna find anything, we're gonna stay in the streets, we're gonna this and that, you know. So you let that negativity to like grow and grow and grow, right? So you have to like kind of like sit down for a second and breathe and just tell to yourself, everything is going to be okay, everything is going to be okay, don't worry. You just have to like work things out, you know. And then out of nowhere, I just received this I just saw this hotel, but it wasn't it was a hotel, but it was like apartment hotels. And I was like, well, they have one room available just for that night, and I reserved, and we were like, okay, let's go. So we went, we pick up my brother-in-law, we pick up our cousin, you know, and all of that. And then we were like, let's go and see over here what is gonna happen. And it ended up being a 2-bedroom apartment with air conditioning, a beautiful building. Like, it was such a beautiful place. I was so surprised. Private parking, like it had a restaurant, it had like amenities. I was like, oh wow. So you know what, it ended up being kind of okay, but we spent so much time doing all of this that we couldn't really enjoy Medellin, you know. Yes, we have, of course, amazing food, and we went to like one touristy place, but we had a whole plan because there are so many things to do over there, and we couldn't just do anything because the stress was too much. We have to change the plane ticket, and so basically we were leaving very early next morning. So yeah, it was kind of like one of those trips that is like, okay, like it is what it is. So we definitely want to redo Medellin at some point. I don't know when, but yeah, I think it deserves a second chance. I think for what I saw after, you know, the stress, it looked beautiful. There was amazing places. We actually went to a very nice restaurant and bar. The food was amazing, the cocktails were great, the nightlife looked great, you know. We just need to go again and like, yeah, change things around. So that's it, guys. That's all the tea of what went down in Medellin, Colombia. I know that you were dying to know about it. So let me know what you guys think on the comments below. I'm gonna start working on my next travel blog, because from there we went to an island in the Caribbean which is called San Andres. It belongs to Colombia and is a beautiful, beautiful island. So that's going to be my next travel blog. I'm gonna start working on it right now. So let me know what you guys think, and I don't know, what are your travel tips for when something like this happened. Maybe I'll take some of your advices in the future. So let me know, and don't forget to like this video, share this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you around. See ya. Bye.